Hi, friend. Welcome back to the Ready to Rise podcast. I am going to get just a little bit specific towards nurses in this episode, but honestly, this goes for everybody. So if you're listening in and you're not a nurse or you're not a nurse yet, just listen in because there's going to be some really good advice that I think applies to everybody. So I posted a post recently, very nursing specific, all the acronyms like right forearm, IV, ultrasound guided, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, CHF, DM2, heads up telly, whatever. And just like to throw a bunch of like acronyms out, right? And I was like, you know what? If you can read this, like if you can understand all these acronyms, how is your burnout going? Because here's the thing. These specific types of careers that a lot of us helpers, a lot of you listening, find ourselves in are extremely stressful. Just a lot of critical thinking, a lot of just time, a lot of multitasking. And as women, we're just multitaskers, always going above and beyond, always doing all the things, right? So the thing is, it's keeping us stuck in something called sympathetic overdrive. And we're going to chat not about all the science of what that is because you're a smart woman. You can look that up yourself. But I want to talk to you about like how we're getting ourselves there and how we can slowly back ourselves out. So let's cue the intro and let's go. Hey, friend, welcome to the Ready to Rise podcast. This is the podcast for ambitious, successful women who've checked off all the boxes: the career, the routines, the self-help books, and therapy. We've done it all. But if you're still feeling numb, stuck, or like you're just going through the motions, you're in the right place because I've totally been there. And I've healed myself using the tools that I now teach. I got certified in them so that I could help other women do the same. I'm your host, Audrey Rose, a registered nurse and somatic life coach. And I'm here to help you stop just coping, stop just going through the motions, and actually start feeling good again in your life, feeling happy again. Each week, we explore nervous system regulation, emotional wellness, and rituals that are rooted in ancient wisdom, ancient practices, so you can stop just going through the motions and stop just getting by and start really feeling lit up and alive and fully plugged in again. This is about real happiness, the kind that fills your body, lights you up, and helps you create a life that you are obsessed to wake up for. So are you ready? Because I'm excited to help you feel like you again. Okay, fix my camera just a little for you guys watching. For you all watching on YouTube, you know, there's no filter. I don't even know if you can do that. I don't even know, but your girl just woke up from night shift. So bear with me here. We got the dark circles going, but it's all good. This message is so important for me to get out to you. The thing is, in these careers that we find ourselves in as this kind of woman, the woman who enjoys learning constantly, who wants to help, who's very smart, right? You're a high achiever. You're always doing all the things. You find yourselves in careers like this: social work, nursing, teaching, corporate, right? We find ourselves in these jobs that are very high paced, that require a lot from us, and we fucking love it. Okay? I'm just going to be honest with you. I love my job. I honestly, yeah, maybe not in the moment when I'm driving home after a really hard shift, but I just overall enjoy the feeling that when I have a patient who has a blood pressure of like 50 over nothing, I know what to do. All nurses do, right? It's common practice. Like, you know what to do. We do all the things. But here's the thing. It's a good feeling to know when you drive away from your shift. Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, there was a lot. It really sucked all the energy out of you to keep this. I won't get graphic, but I had like a really interesting, not even interesting, but just a very critical GI bleed the other day. I'm not going to get graphic with you guys because I know you listen to this when you're doing all kinds of things, but it was heavy. It was heavy, 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 very low blood pressures. This person was just sick. And yeah, in the moment, I'm stressed out. I'm doing all the things. I'm getting help from all these different nurses that are nearby. It's so, it's critical. We're doing it. When I leave my shift, I'm exhausted. I gave my everything, right? Because we are critically thinking, okay, what is causing this? What do I need to be watching? What else could be happening? How can I immediately, give care to this patient to prevent a poor outcome? We are just, that's all this critical thinking, all this mental work we're doing. You are doing physical work, right? I won't say all the things because once again, I don't want to get graphic, but there's so much physical work involved in that scenario and in any scenario where we're moving patients, you're up running around all day. Social workers, right? You're making house calls. A lot of people, I know that, somebody that listens to this podcast, like she's making house calls, she's doing things, she has the critical thinking going on, that physical thing. And then we also have the emotional thing because we are helpers. We really, really care. When you see a patient who is homeless and doesn't have their next meal or their next, outfit, right? We want to help them. I've seen so many nurses who bring things from home, who bring clothing, who do clothing drives to help. I mean, we are just so emotional, right? We want to do everything that we can. And when we have all of these things going on, it obviously is severely draining. Not that we would change it for anything. And that's the point that I really, really, really want to drive home in my posts and my content and all of the things. We don't want to change what we're doing. Yeah, I could go get a less stressful job. I could go get a job that's a little bit of stress. Like sometimes I secretly do dream about going back to like waitressing. I really loved it. I used to do that, right? And I absolutely loved it because there are moments where you get like a rush or something and it's like a little bit stressful and you have to run around and you do have to really use your critical thinking skills and prioritization and, the multitasking. And it's fun because nobody's going to die if you don't bring an order out on time. And these jobs that we have, being a mother, being a social worker, a teacher, a nurse, people's lives are very severely impacted. And I'm not saying that being a waitress doesn't matter or it's not important because it is, right? But what I'm saying is that the jobs that you are choosing now as a high achiever, the problem is that all of these stressors combined, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, all of this exhaustion of what you're doing all day long in all of these different jobs as a teacher, as a mother, as a wife, as a nurse, like all of these jobs. What happens is all of those combine to lead to burnout, right? And we can't change our job. I can't sit there and be like, okay, GI bleed patient, stop right now. Like too much of my critical thinking skills are getting used up. I'm using all of my emotional spoons, worried about you because you're a very sweet person. No, obviously we can't do that. We can choose to step back. And a lot of people do in all of these jobs, right? I could choose a different path, right? There's like quote unquote soft nursing and in teaching, right? Maybe you're getting a little burned out on the third graders. Maybe you want to move to like high school, although that might be worse. But anyways, there are, like without overcomplicating it, there are pathways that we can all take to make changes in our life. Maybe a full-on career change. I work with a couple nurses who used to be therapists. They got really emotionally burned out from the therapy side of things and became nurses because they felt like they wanted to do more in that sense, right? You can make changes in your life. But here's the thing. I'm all for making changes. I'm all for doing what your heart desires, all of that. But I know that you came into this career for a reason. I know that you have a story behind you that impacted you, that changed your life, right? Hey friend, I am so excited to pop in here really quick and announce that the Rise retreats are back. So if you've been feeling exhausted or irritated or like you just overall lost your spark, but you can still go to work and crush it, right? Pick up the kids, do all the things. Then you feel later like you're just going through the motions, right? You're numbing with wine. You're leaving all your friends on red. You're yelling at your husband because he cannot find the ketchup again. Like, absolutely, I've been there because it's right in front of his face, honestly. But still, right? This is the sign that your nervous system is trying to just tell you that it's overwhelmed. It can't take anymore, right? And I know that this is trending on Instagram, but the thing is, you really don't need to just quit your career that you've worked your brains off for, right? No. So it's time to just process some of the stress, regulate our nervous system, reset, so that we can hear ourselves again, right? We can relax, we can feel like ourselves again. And some of us don't really know where to start. Like that was me a few years ago on my burnout journey. I had no idea where to start when I started to feel all of these things, exhausted, irritated, all of that. And that is what Rise retreats are for. So we are going to be meeting for a 3-day experience. This retreat is going to be in the hills of Castro Valley, California. It's so freaking gorgeous. This is like a huge, beautiful gated house up in the, mountains. We have all of these really beautiful balconies that are like in the trees. I can't even explain. Like, pictures are on IG. You have to check it out because it is freaking gorgeous. We are going to be meeting October 9th through 11th, and there are just very limited spots. I keep them very intimate so that I can truly dive in with each of you and kind of tailor the experience, right? A few spots are already taken. I know. And the link is in the show notes, or, DM me personally so that we can connect. We can get on a little coffee chat and just find out if it's a good fit for you. And you can come and join us. That made you want to come into a career like this. And I know that you have spent years and tears and so much money, not to mention, on your education. It doesn't matter what field you've gone into, you have done all of that. There has been late night studying. There has been just so much going on for you that led you to where you are now. And giving that up just because I'm feeling extremely burned out, not that that's not important, we're going to get there, but because of that, giving all of that up, it's just not right. Like, that doesn't sit right with me. There's a lot that we can't change in all of our careers. We know that, right? But I want you to focus on a couple of things that are going to ease the burnout and give you longevity in this career. Especially, so specifically for nurses for a second, 34% of new nurses are leaving the bedside within only 1 year of working. Because you go into this career, you had these expectations, you have that big story that led you into wanting to pursue this career. You start to visualize what it might be like. Even when you're doing, clinicals, or you're a student nurse, or, you're training in this job that you've chosen, right? You start to go into this job and you don't see the whole perspective until you are truly the one working, until you're truly the one that has this career that's working day in and day out, fitting that into your lifestyle, into your routine, fitting your routine around that career. You don't know how it's going to truly impact you. And so the burnout is so freaking real. Too many people are going through all of the hoops, spending all that money on this education, working so hard day and night to put yourself through school, with a job, with kids, with everything else, and then leaving it in less than a year. And it's just not right. A lot of people are not leaving because they just don't like it. It's not exactly what they expected. Like, I tried the nursing thing. It wasn't quite for me. I mean, sure, a percentage of people that are leaving before a year is up, it's because, I don't really like nursing in general. It wasn't really my thing. I had to go through that whole path to realize I really was happy as a therapist, or whatever it is, right? I really was happy in a different career field. Or, hey, this isn't going to make me happy, so I'm going to try something else. But that's not the whole 34%. It speaks to the pressure that's put onto us by society to be able to go to work, do the critical thinking, the mental, the physical, spiritual, emotional, every single thing, come home, take care of a house full of kids, pets, everything else, keep yourself in shape, eat good foods, meal prep for your family, on and on and on and on, right? There's too much pressure. And when this career is already draining you because you're not even able to take care of yourself during this long shift because it's so draining, and then you come home and you have so much on your plate, how are you supposed to tread water and be able to enjoy that career that you've worked so freaking hard for, and you don't really want to give it up? But you start to feel like you're just pushed back against a wall, and there's nothing else that you can do besides just leave the big, obvious thing that's stressing you out. I want you to start to learn something very, very simple. I want to teach you something very, very simple. I need you to advocate for yourself. I know that this is a system thing. I know that it's more than just us going to work. I know that you are not the part that's failing when you're the one going to work and you're getting burned out. It doesn't mean that you are the person that's failing or anything, right? It's literally the system. The system is built to make it really hard for us not to experience burnout in this career. But you chose it for a reason. You love it. So I need you to start to advocate for yourself. Every single time the hospital makes changes to start to give more stress to you, put more on your shoulders. This happens at every staff meeting, right? We do like these big hospital-wide meetings, and every single time there's like announcements like, oh, nurses are going to be responsible for that. Nurses are going to be responsible for that. Get on a committee, start like at the lower, base where you have like a unit committee, or start to have staff meetings within your unit, something like that, so that you can start to make changes within your unit to bring back to the whole hospital, because we have to fight back. We have to advocate for ourselves. That's the only way, not the only way, but this is one of the big ways that you are going to make change for yourself. Instead of just accepting our fate and feeling drained every single day, we have to do something to fight back. And that goes for any job, right? All of the different things that happen in your job on a daily basis that are leading you to this physical, mental, spiritual, emotional exhaustion are keeping you in fight or flight mode all day. And this is something I want to touch on for a minute. What happens is, like you're a smart woman, like the fight or flight mode, the rest and digest, all of these things, right? Our nervous system has kind of those two camps to simplify it greatly. We have that fight or flight mode, and we have that rest and digest chill mode, right? Our nervous system knows when to kick into either one, right? It's like, oh, I'm home. This is why you get so tired when you're like breastfeeding, or like you're home with your husband or something. Like when my husband gets home and I've been doing nothing all day, the second he walks in, I'm just exhausted and I need a nap, because we feel safe. We can literally rest and digest, right? We feel just truly safe. Okay, somebody else is going to take care of things. I'm just going to sleep. Just thinking about it makes me tired. But that's such a good feeling, though. It really is. Or we have that fight or flight mode where we are constantly on high alert, constantly scanning what's going on. What do I need to be doing? What am I worried about? Where are all the threats, right? That's like the primal instinct of our brain, to always be looking for threats and what could be going wrong. And when you're in these careers, that's what you do. You're a teacher. You're worried about all kinds of things with those students, not to mention things that I don't want to put into existence, but happening from the outside world into your classroom, right? As a nurse, you're constantly on high alert. Every single beep, every single alarm, every single call light, even when the call light is just like your 97-year-old confused patient asking you why you reminded him to hit the call light if he needed you. But every single call light is like, what is that? Is something going on? Do they have a headache? And then all these things are, it ends up being a brain bleed. Like you were thinking a million miles a minute, constantly. Meanwhile, doing physical work, right? You're constantly moving and doing things. You come home as a mom, you're picking up after your kids, you're picking up after your husband, you're cooking meals. Even if you're like a dog mom, I don't care, a plant mom, this is work. You are like tending to these plants, you're repotting things, you're taking your dog on a walk. Like there is just so much, right? Answering the call, worried about our parents, seeing what they're doing, making sure that everyone's okay. All of these things. And so we are constantly these days in fight or flight mode. When you have a job like that, you are constantly on edge. It's back. You guys, I'm so excited. The Rise Summit is back. If you caught us last year, you already know this free summit is where it's at. I have over 40 speakers, 40 speakers, experts in health and wellness, relationships, just overall living your best life. They are coming to chat with us about all things happiness. I literally have women that know so much about all kinds of the aspects of our lives that can cause us to feel really miserable or really just basically not like ourselves. So this summit serves to help you come back into feeling like you again, to be you again, to really find your happiness and feel like yourself again. So come and join us for free. All of the information is in my link in my bio or down below in the show notes, so you can come and join us once again, absolutely 100% free. And I know that most jobs are stressful. Like, let's be honest. I don't know anybody who like goes to work and it's like a total vacation, right? But these jobs that we as high achieving, helping women choose, these are very stressful jobs. And they are keeping our fight or flight mode going. Like I said, then you come home and you're continuing that response. What happens is we start to get like quote unquote stuck in that response without going into all the science behind it. But you start to become so used to this sympathetic drive, right? The sympathetic response in your body, this fight or flight mode, that you go into something called sympathetic overdrive. And you're just kind of stuck there, for lack of better terms. Your body continuously goes to that response. What's wrong? What am I scanning for? What am I doing? What's happening? And we're not having enough of the opposite of coming down. And here's the thing. We're more triggered into this response when we have those longer stints of time where we're doing that, right? That fight or flight mode. When you go to an 8-hour workday or a 12-hour workday and you're doing that whole time, you're eating lunch at your desk, you're not chilling, you're not taking a minute to breathe, you're holding your pee for I don't know how many hours before you let yourself go to the bathroom. We are staying in that fight or flight response and we're not coming down. I need you to give yourself time to come down from that response during the time that you're usually stuck in it. We need to retrain our bodies how to go back and forth. I don't want you to be like listening to like a meditation and Zen as heck and then have your patient get super sick and then you're just like, oh, it's okay, guys, right? That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is we need to retrain our nervous system to go back and forth as it's supposed to be doing. I always say that those two parts of the nervous system are like the gas and the brakes, right? Gas is that sympathetic fight or flight, brakes is the rest and digest. And I want you to be going down Highway 1 along the coast, just chilling, just kind of giving a little bit of both, coasting, right? We need the gas and the brakes. We need to alternate between the two. You know when we need the gas, right? There's the GI bleed patient, very sick. We got to like get in there, get some stuff done. But then there's moments where you can take a break. If you are blessed enough to have a hospital that's providing you a break nurse, I don't want you to overlook that. And I think that so many of us these days, we, in all of these professions, we think that it's just like a badge of honor if we aren't taking our breaks. No, it's fine. Yeah, I don't need that 15-minute break. 15 minutes is too short for me anyways. It's not good enough. Girl, on my YouTube channel, I have several 5-minute meditation episodes. Go listen. That's 5 minutes. You could do 2 of those minimum, plus go to the bathroom, plus grab a quick snack and some water. Okay? You need to do this for yourself. You need to be taking those little pockets of rest times. The hospital where I work at, California, yes, blessed, we get 3 different mini breaks during the day. So I always use that time. Have to, plus the lunch, right? Go and pop in a meditation while you're on your break and you're allowed to be using your headphones, right? Go silence that. Go sit somewhere quiet. Find a place outside. I know a couple of the nurses that I work with who go take their lunch out in like a garden area that we have. Find a tree to sit under. I don't care what you need to do. I need you to get away. I need you to touch grass. I need you to get away from that crazy place for just a little while. Just take a short little break. Advocate for yourself if you're not getting them. It's so important. It's so important because we need to retrain our nervous system. Like I said, most of your shift, you are stuck in that fight or flight mode. And there's nothing that we can really do about it or should do about it because we are meant to be there working, being on constant alert to make sure that, our patients aren't having a big issue, right? But here's the thing. You've got to switch. I'm like beating the point here. You have to give yourself opportunities to switch over. Stop waving your brakes. Take them. It's so freaking important. Or else you're going to end up really burned out only 1 year into this career, right? 34% of new nurses leave the bedside or leave nursing, before 1 year. This is why. because we are not giving ourselves enough time. We go into this career, we had different expectations of what it might be like. We thought it was going to be just fun and soft nursing, and it doesn't end up like that. You have everything on your shoulders. Everybody's calling you. You're the mom of the nursing world, right? That's what we are. We are the mom of all of the things going on around us. It's all like you. Step away when you can. Take the breaks. And I need you to take this very seriously. On your drive home from work, I need you to decompress, right? Listen to a soothing song, listen to good music that's just going to calm you down. Stop living in this sympathetic overdrive where you are on your way to work listening to like, yeah, sure, you can hype yourself up, right? But you're crushing like 3 Red Bulls and you're just like all this energy. And then you go home and you're obviously going to crash because you haven't been taking care of your nervous system that whole time. And then, not to mention, you are doing these 12 hours or 12 and a half hours, whatever, multiple days a week in a row. You're not giving yourself time to come back down. So I need you to take your breaks during work. I need you to take your just chill time on your drive home or when you first get home. When I was a newer nurse, especially like this, I really did this when I was earlier in nursing. I don't really do this as much anymore because I think that I've really learned, like trained myself to be able to kind of like shut it down for the day. Like once I get in my car now, I can just kind of take a couple of deep breaths, shut it down for the day, go home, switch gears. But before, when I was learning how to do that and I was newer at this career, I had a really hard time disconnecting myself from work because you're constantly thinking about it. Like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Did I chart that? Did I do that? And it's understandable. That's what's going to make you a great nurse. So like, good. But I need you to come home. And what I used to do is as soon as I stepped in the door, it was like, you take a breath. We are home now. We're done. And I would tell my partner at the time, my boyfriend at the time too, like if he was home, I was like, I can't talk to you. No, please. I'm so sorry. Adore you. But like, I have to go straight to like my meditation area. And I had, this is so weird, but like I had a meditation area. It was in this like little corner of like the side of like my bathroom. So yeah, anyways, but well, awkward, not awkward, but, I had this little meditation area and it was set up with all of my crystals and candles and my Himalayan salt lamp and all of this. And I would just decompress and I would take a good 20 minutes. I would listen to a nice headspace meditation. At the time, I was really interested in those. Breathe, sit with a couple of crystals and just kind of like chill. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to have longevity in this career that you've worked your ass off to get. You've spent these late nights working, taking care of home, taking care of a family while going to school to get this job. You have taken so much of your blood, sweat, tears, your energy, student loans, right? Or scrambling to pay it as you go. Like, however you got here, I know it was hard. And you're a high achiever, so I would expect nothing less. And you are such a boss. And we think we can do it. And we can. We can do so much. But there comes a breaking point. And I just don't want you to reach it when you're too young. When I had a severe burnout, I'm not going to go into this whole story, so don't roll your eyes. But when I had a very severe burnout a few years ago, I was forced to take a 3-month leave. Like my doctor forced me to do it. And when I came back after that 3-month leave, I still wasn't healed. I still wasn't myself. And that whole period of time just kickstarted a huge journey for me to figure out what it was that would help me heal while working, because I didn't want to give this career up. I still don't. I still love this. I've reduced my hours a bit. I'm part-time now, but I love this career. I mean, I absolutely love being a nurse. And the thing is, I don't see myself doing anything else. I really, truly enjoy it. But it's exhausting. And if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be able to do this for that long. Something that we've worked so hard for, our income, our everything. I just want you to think about that. And I want you to take it seriously. The thing is, a lot of us get into, these ruts or these cycles of time where we're just like, I'm young, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my early 40s, I'm cool. I'm young, I have resilience, I have stamina. But the point is, that's not going to last. And especially if we run really hard right now, how are we going to feel later in life, right? I'm not saying don't work the overtime. I do. I'm not saying, give it up. But I am saying you need to implement times where you're getting into that rest and digest so that you're not hitting that sympathetic overdrive all of the freaking time. And the first thing is taking your breaks. There's so many things that I love to talk about, how to regulate your nervous system, how to reset your nervous system, right? There's so many amazing things we can do that I'm obsessed with, right? Sound healing, there's EFT tapping, there's all of these different vagus nerve work, right? There's so many things that you can do. Getting into nature, meditation, all of this. But it starts with you taking a break. If you're not taking the 5-minute break, the 10-minute break during your shift, you're not going to go do the sympathetic, healing that I need you to do. You're not going to do the somatic release that I need you to do. It starts with you taking a break now. And one of the best ways, by the way, I think, is starting with a retreat. Because a retreat is going to give you a 3-day reset. When you go to a retreat and you are away somewhere and you're surrounded by women who are similar, right? Who are all high achievers, who have similar career paths, who are also not burned out at the point that they're just so far I can't do this anymore, but they're just hey, I notice I'm a little bit grumpy. I'm sleeping a little bit longer. I'm not actually, feeling relaxed when I'm home chilling and watching TV. You notice those signs and you start to take action on them. That's how we can make changes, right? And going to a retreat where you're surrounded by those women and where you have the ability to truly unplug. When I host retreats, I literally tell the women, just get yourself there. Pack a suitcase and get yourself here. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to take care of you. I have everything that you need. It's good. Because you should be able to go away for a weekend and just completely unplug and reset. Refill your cup, right? That old saying that you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. How are we going to go take care of these really sick patients if we're not taking care of ourselves? And if our cup isn't full, it's not going to happen. And again, the longevity in this career. I want you to have it all. I want you to have longevity in this career. I want you to be a kick-ass teacher, nurse, whatever it is you do, social worker, a mom. But we can't do that if we are so burned out all the time. Go get a retreat. I have dates coming out for my upcoming retreat. I can't wait. I'll give you a little hint. It's in October. But the spots are filling up fast because I always open them up to women who have been to my previous retreats first, and then open to my email list, and then to the public, social media and all of that. So if you are not on my email list, get on the email list now. The link is in my bio on Instagram so that when those dates drop and I start to open it up to the email list, you can snag a spot quick. Because like I said, the spots are always limited because I keep these retreats very intimate so that we can really work on your healing and making sure that you feel refreshed when you leave. It's not like a cookie cutter retreat at all. It's just such a beautiful vibe where I can really get to know you and really tailor some of the exercises we're doing to make sure that everybody leaves just feeling renewed and refreshed and just feeling like themselves again so that you can go back and have longevity in this career. I want you to have it all. I love you so much. Go get on the email list now if you're not on it already, and take your break when it's offered. I will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Ready to Rise podcast. It means so much to me to have you here and to get to share all of this with you. If this one resonated, literally just send this to a friend, share it with her right now, because there's so many women out there who really need this information. And I would also love it if you could take a quick screenshot, throw it up on Instagram, tag me at Hello Audrey Rose so that I can connect with you and get to know you. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Have a blessed and beautiful day, and I will see you next time.